Super Talk 99.7 WTN, 6 minutes after 5 o'clock. Glad to have you with us on this much. It's a busy news day. It's a very, I almost said it's a much interesting day, which is not a preferred way of saying. It's been a very exciting afternoon within the news because we're getting reports. I think, Ken Weaver, is it official now, these pardons?
Yes.
They're official.
Apparently so.
I got,
according to Channel 4.
I got a couple of sources that indicated to me about 30 minutes ago that these could be forthcoming, and apparently they are now happening as Glenn Cassata and Cade Cawthron.
Cassata.
Cassata, pardon me. Glenn Cassata and Cade Cawthron have been pardoned by the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. He's not afraid to do it, and apparently he does it. All of these things happened before I was here. I am not as learned on the malfeasance that went down under the leadership of Glenn. Am I saying it wrong? I'm going to say it wrong again. Cassata?
Yeah, Glenn Cassata.
Glenn Cassata. I'm not as learned on the failure of leadership during his tenure as Speaker of the House as some, so perhaps some of you can educate me on that front. That said, the President of the United States has heard from someone, and he has decided to pardon these folks and is doing so or has already done so, according to News Channel 4. 8 minutes after the hour, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. We'd love to hear from you on the telephone lines or on the super text line. You are welcome and invited. So earlier, I'm going to need audio and video here, Jackson. Earlier today, I guess it was, the governor of the great state of Tennessee, Governor Bill Lee, took to a video platform on X. I don't know. I'm assuming that he posted this on a variety of different platforms and sent it out to all media. He had a few things to say about the aftermath of the New York City. Yes, can I help you?
You're not sharing your screen.
I begged you to share. Oh, I begged you to share it with me. Thank you. All right, I got it now. May I continue? Thank you. So, as I was saying, Governor Bill Lee responded to the aftermath of election night from Tuesday. And as most of us watched in somewhat slack-jawed amazement, the city of New York decided to elect a self-avowed socialist to be their next mayor. A socialist that has proposed, well, socialist things. Now, allow me to go over some of those things with you before we get to Bill Lee. New Yorkers elected a socialist who has made a lot of socialist campaign promises, and I've listed a few of them here, including raising minimum wage to $30 an hour in the city, eliminating fares for city buses, eliminating fares for city subway systems, creating city-run grocery stores, establishing free child care for all, freezing the rent for all, including private property. Mamdani even mentioned single mothers and grandparents in his speeches from Tuesday night, saying, we'll prove that there's no problem. He actually said this. We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve, and no concern too small for it to care about. Now, think about that for a moment. Ronald Reagan famously said, government is not the solution to your problem. Government is the problem. I agree with the former president of the United States of America, Ronald Reagan. We've gone from Ronald Reagan saying the government is not the solution to your problems, the government is the problem, to Mamdani saying there's no problem too large for the government to solve. This was almost a fate certain for the city of New York once Andrew Cuomo became the primary challenger to Zoran Mamdani in New York. Sadly, New York is going to be a petri dish of failure for socialism. George Will said it pretty well. I like George Will as much as the next guy. George Will wrote a great book on baseball called Men at Work. If you've never read it, you need to read it. It's a fabulous book from the 1980s. A conservative columnist, George Will, who I agree with on some things, disagree on other things, did say this about the Mamdani experiment. Every so often, it is encouraging every so often it's important for us to watch socialism in action, like every 20 years or so. Normally these things happen in other countries and not here in the United States of America. But every so often it's important for us to watch that socialism experiment in action so we can watch how much it fails every time it happens. You know, socialism at one point, their mantra was, you know, from each according to their ability, to each according to their need. And now the slogan of socialism is, hey, guys, really, we promise this time it'll work. Well, it doesn't work, and it won't work. And picking up on that, Governor Bill Lee had this to say in the aftermath of the election night from last Tuesday.
Hey, everybody. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee. In light of the recent election results, I thought it might be a good time to remind you that Tennessee is the best state in the country for doing business. If you are a New York City business owner and you don't like the direction your city has headed, I have a message for you that Tennessee is open for business. We have one of the strongest economies in the country. We have one of the lowest tax bases in the country. We have a workforce that is ready for any industry, a workforce that is ready to meet the needs of your company. And our Department of Economic and Community Development is ready to help you make a move right now. In fact, Tennessee is one of the most moved to states for families, for people, for companies from around the globe, because we believe that opportunity and security and freedom are important for everyone. We also believe in the power of law enforcement, by the way, and we understand that the men and women who keep our families, keep our communities safe, need to be supported, and we do so in our state. I want you to know that if you're looking for an opportunity, you've found one in the state of Tennessee. We are here. Our way of life, our music, our culture, our food, our hospitality, and our business-friendly environment might just be right for you. We are open for business.
All right, so there's the governor of the state of Tennessee promoting business opportunities in our state. Governor Bill Lee posted this up on his X Machine page, and he kind of doubled down on it in language used in the post. You just heard from him there. He said, if you're a New York business owner who doesn't like the direction your city is heading, we have a message for you. Tennessee's open for business, strong economy, low taxes, government will not get in your way. Tennessee is the place for people who value opportunity, security, and freedom. And this was, so I understand that some of you don't care for the governor. Most of you who do not care for the governor cite his, what you would call his failure of leadership during COVID-19. And that's understandable. And I understand that there was a lot of failure of leadership during COVID-19. I don't know of any governor that got it right, exactly right. There were some that got it righter than others. And I would note that I was in Alabama at the time, and we were looking at Tennessee as a state that was opening up when Alabama was not opening up, and I thought Alabama was a pretty red state too. Now, there were other states that opened up a little bit before Tennessee, but not many. Not many. All that to say that I understand that some of you are still smarting from the leadership, or what you would consider the lack thereof, of several years ago. But otherwise, I would challenge you to tell me what ways that the governor could be more conservative, what ways the governor could do better in terms of his leadership in the state. And there are very legitimate concerns and criticisms, and I'm open to any of those. All that to say, I am a fan of Governor Bill Lee. And most Tennesseans are fans of Governor Bill Lee. The man was elected, the man was reelected, and he currently enjoys a popularity of, I want to say, in excess of 60% statewide. That's including Democrats. So he's a pretty popular guy. Maybe not popular with you, you know, and if you don't like him, his approval rating with you is 0. I get it. If you do like him, it's 100%. An organization by the name of Tennessee Stands that is run by a man by the name of Gary Humble, who has already responded to me, by the way, on social media platforms. He will not come on our radio show because he's a coward. And I'm not name-calling Gary. It is a fact that Gary will not walk into an arena that he does not ultimately control and engage in a debate format or engage in a discussion where there might be mild dissent with him because he can't handle it. And he chooses to throw rocks at me, and he chooses to throw rocks at a lot of other people that are good people, and then hide his hand. And I don't appreciate people that throw rocks and hide their hand. And that's exactly what Gary does. And there are fine individuals. Let's get it away. I mean, Michael Patrick Leahy, who I have no affiliation with, is with the Tennessee Star. Michael Patrick Leahy also has a radio show. Gary throws rocks at Leahy all the time. Leahy is a good conservative. Just because Leahy doesn't toe what Gary Humble considers to be the conservative line. I've never claimed to be a conservative. Now, I've had many conversations with Gary off air. I've begged him to come on the show. Yeah, I begged him. Come on, let's do this. Let's engage in an exchange of ideas for the benefit of Middle Tennessee, and he refuses to do it because he's a coward. But he did have something to say about the governor, which, absent my personal feelings toward Humble, the man is running for state senate in district number 27 against Jack Johnson. He owes it to the people of his district to explain exactly why he's against business opportunities in the state of Tennessee. So he writes earlier today on his X post, or his X account. Now, understand, he runs Tennessee Stands, and Tennessee Stands does not say a single thing that Gary Humble does not approve of, and vice versa, right? So Tennessee Stands is Gary Humble is Tennessee Stands. And he wrote, "It is no longer astonishing to just how ignorant Governor Bill Lee actually is. This man could not be leading more contrary to the conservative voter base than he is now and has in the past. Sir, you cannot vacate your office fast enough." He wrote that in response to Governor Lee encouraging businesses that if they're not comfortable doing business in liberal states, that they might consider doing business where opportunity, security, and freedom are of the highest value, a place like Tennessee. I fail to see how encouraging business to come to Tennessee is a bad thing. But the Tennessee Stands organization and Gary Humble would tell you that I fail to see the big picture. Well, what is the big picture, buddy? Now, apparently, Gary has forgotten that he came from somewhere else. I mean, I came from... So I don't understand this nativist attitude that Gary Humble has taken in his position that nobody else from any other part of the country is welcome here. Just what exactly in the hell are you talking about? You came from somewhere else. Are you to determine who's allowed and who's not allowed, Gary? As a state senator, would you determine which businesses are allowed to relocate here and which businesses are not allowed to relocate here? Would you have told In-N-Out Burger, which relocated their headquarters to Franklin, Tennessee from California, to go to hell and pound the sand if it were your decision to make, Gary? Do you want me to name the number of businesses that have come from out of state and have decided to relocate themselves here because of the incredible business opportunity that this state provides? They are coming here for a reason, and they're not bringing that baggage with them. They're escaping that baggage. Hell, Glock Store is another good example. Lenny McGill ran out of California as best he could some 5 or 6 years ago and decided to relocate right here in Nashville, Tennessee. If Gary Humble had his way, I suppose that wouldn't have been allowed either, because we don't want those type of people here. Exactly what are you saying? That you don't want businesses to come to this state? So we invite Gary anytime he wants to come on, and I'll get out of the way and let him speak without interruption and explain exactly what he means when he says that Governor Bill Lee is out of touch, when Governor Bill Lee is inviting more businesses to come into the state and provide those wonderful opportunities of freedom, freedom from taxation, freedom to do business as you choose, security, and yes, opportunity for the people of the state of Tennessee to get good-paying jobs as Tennessee continues to grow. Growth is not a bad thing. Now, I understand that some people are concerned about rampant growth in Nashville and rampant growth in your neck of the woods. I understand that people are concerned about the elimination of old-school family farms. I don't know of a single, absent eminent domain and use for public roadways and whatnot, I don't know of a single family farm in this state that has been sold against the wishes of the family that sold it. That's called freedom, too. And it's local communities, local city councils, local county commissions that make decisions about zoning and whatnot that allow for these communities to grow in the fashion that they are. And if you're against that, I understand it, and I would encourage you to speak more directly and vociferously to those individual city councils and county commissions and whatnot. But this idea that we need to be against something just to be against something is kind of absurd. Purity politics is a cancer. It's a cancer. And there's no better example of that cancer than Gary Humble. Do not trust anyone. I invite every single person that's willing to come on this radio show that is of interest to my audience, regardless of whether they agree with me or not. Every single person. Whether it's a liberal Democrat or a staunch Republican, I take all comers. I love every single one of you. And I want to speak to every single one of you. And I want that free exchange of ideas. Do not trust people that are not willing to be challenged in their ideas. Do not trust people that tell you that they know better what it is to be a Republican or they know better what it is to be a conservative than any of you. Because those people want to be dictators. They do not want to live in a representative republic. And I sure as hell would not trust someone to be a state senator that is actively discouraging business from coming into this state. And 8726, and I encourage every politician to debate every politician regardless. So, yes, I'm a big fan of debate, and I despise politicians that won't. And if Jack Johnson won't debate Gary, that's on Jack, and I'll challenge him on that. And I love the state of Tennessee, and I've loved my time here. And I don't know what that means. 6880, you say maybe you should look at property in Austin, Texas. I don't know what that means. I understand about infrastructure. I understand that the free market handles those things on its own more so than the government can. And that when the government tries to intervene and tax the tax-paying citizens to the point that they are in Nashville, that perverts the issue. The free market will balance that out. And if the infrastructure needs are strained, then individuals will stop moving into those communities because of the strain on infrastructure. That's the natural way that happens. There's too many people moving here. I have new neighbors from California, and they're terrible. Please tell the governor to STFU. Okay. I don't like go. You know what? You know what's also awful? Look, I understand nostalgia is a form of depression, and we all wish that we could go back to the better way when there was nobody here. I mean, Tennessee's it's a testimony to the incredible nature of this state that people want to move here. And I'm fascinated at the amount of people that hate it. But I guess a lot of people do. It's 25 after the hour on Super Talk. I love the state of Tennessee, and I love each and every one of you. And I thank you for listening to the Matt Murphy Radio Show. So many of you are. You make us a part of your afternoon, and I'm deeply appreciate that. I'm deeply appreciative. Gary is annoying me with texts, by the way. He'll text me, but he won't come on the radio show. You want me to read his text messages to me? I mean, I'm happy to do that.
Sure.
Go for it.
So Gary quoted me. He apparently was listening to the show. And I love these guys. They listen to the show, but then they lie about it and say they don't. And he says, I'm getting messages that Matt Murphy's show is slamming me on 99.7 WTN once again. I've declined this guy's show for 3 years now because he's an a-hole. Well,
Guilty as charged.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm a big enough man that even somebody I don't like, when they're right, they're right. And Gary, that is proof that even a blind sow can find an acorn every now and again. When you're right, you're right. But that's no reason not to come on the show. I mean, one a-hole likes another a-hole to be in the studio with him. So I've declined this guy's show for over 3 years now because he's an a-hole. But he said the word. That's not very Christian of you either, Gary. Call somebody names like that. But anyway, he called me about 3 weeks ago trying to get me on his show. I declined. No, I called him because Gary Humble had put my name in his mouth. Gary had just lost that primary race. Let me just disabuse you folks. Gary's lying to you about how this happened by omission. Gary went all in with Jody Barrett, lost that race. Gary has never won a race in the state of Tennessee. It's certainly not a statewide General Assembly race or anything of consequence. I mean, maybe he supported a local judge or two that I don't know about, so I won't say never. But I do not know of a race in the however many years that Gary Humble's been here that Gary Humble supported the candidate that the candidate won. I just don't. And that's just, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. Don't y'all feel like that's just odd that he's never picked a winning horse? That the state of Tennessee, he claims that if the state of Tennessee had the knowledge that they would be with him, that they're with him, yet he never wins. When it comes time, Gary Humble likes to tell you that the state is behind him, that he represents, he's the voice of the state. But every time the state has an opportunity to prove him right, they don't. Think about that for a minute. But anyway, he said he called me about 3 weeks ago trying to get me on his show. I called him because he wrote an article and he mentioned me by name in the article. And he got it wrong. He claimed that I was in for some other candidate. I wasn't. I didn't pick a horse in the 7th Congressional District primary. I had just about every candidate on my show. And I called him to, as Brother Wilson would say, disabuse him of the notion that I had picked a horse. And he apologized to me during that telephone call, by the way. He said he doesn't talk about me anymore because I'm not important. Well, I talk about you when you bring my name up and put my name in your lips, but whatever. He then apologized, and I quote, "I'm sorry for being a bastard." I don't know that I said I was sorry for being a bastard, but, he quoted me, so I don't know that I would apologize for being that, though. I think I told him I know that I am. I don't think I apologized for it, one way or the other. So, Gary, I wrote him a note when I saw this post that he just posted on his X, and I said, quote this, Gary, "You decline," meaning my invitation, "because you're a coward and a fraud. You cannot handle the mildest of dissent. And you know you're a coward, Gary. Otherwise, you'd man up and show up. Take care." He said, "You're right. My 5 years of advocacy proves me a coward. Dude, you think too much of yourself. You're not at all scary or impressive. You're just an uninformed shock jock pretending to be smart. Don't waste my time on unintelligent conversations. Wonder when you'll stop caring about what I post, considering how unimportant I am. Leave your little microphone and do what I've done. Build your own platform. I promise no one will be listening." And I mean, I don't know. What do you think Gary has done? I mean, I'm willing to listen. Gary, what have you done except make a lot of money through Tennessee Stands for yourself? I mean, I'm open to listening. I mean, if you've done some good for the citizens of the state of Tennessee, let's go, man. Let's hear it. That's one of the reasons I would love to have you on the show. By the way, I'm taking up time because Gary Humble's going to be my nincompoop in the news, just so y'all know.
I have a feeling that he's going to come on the air with you eventually.
I don't think he will, Ken. He's too scared to do that. So I wrote in response, "There's a lot of deflection, Gary. If only Tennessee voters were smarter, then they would agree with you and not Bill Lee, huh? They just aren't smart enough, are they, Gary? Probably because so many of them listen to dumb shock jocks like me." And then Gary says, "What threads are you watching, dude? You're in the minority. Hard disagreement with Bill Lee on this. You live in your own echo chamber. He wants to use your tax dollars to bring in New York corporations to Tennessee. You think that's awesome? You know it's not, but you're just a shill now who refuses to see." Oh, I'm a shill. Okay. Tell that to all the politicians that I've roasted over the years. No, I think economic development is a good thing, Gary. I think more business coming into the state's a good thing. I think In-N-Out Burger relocating to Tennessee is a good thing. I think Oracle coming to Tennessee is a good thing. Don't you? I think these high-paying jobs coming to Tennessee is a good thing. I think Elon Musk starting up that AI hub in Memphis, that's a good thing. I think that Glock Store, a smaller company than some of those others, but a wonderful brand in Nashville, Tennessee, coming to Tennessee is a good thing. I think all of those companies coming is a good thing. And I think businesses paying lower taxes is a good thing too, Gary. Don't you? I'm a low taxation guy, aren't you? I believe in fewer taxes burdening companies, and those companies, because I believe in the free market, those companies pass those savings on to the consumers in the free open market. Don't you? Companies don't pay taxes, Gary. Businesses don't pay taxes. Consumers do. Didn't they teach you that? Well, I don't know what your education is, so I don't know. I almost said, I don't want to make it personal, Gary. I'm not going to get in the weeds with you. Anyway, it's 44 after the hour. Perhaps some of you can educate. Vincent wants to educate me. That's great. I can't wait for that. But before we do that, Vincent, I've got to do Nincompoops in the news. Bye, bye, bye. You may not be Republican, as you say every day, but you are so a shill for the establishment. I don't understand how I'm shilling for. I don't shill for anybody. I speak my mind and I offer my opinion, and I appreciate yours, 1063. I appreciate you, and thank you for calling me pathetic. Super Talk 99.7 WT, and it's time for Nincompoops in the news. My Nincompoop is Gary Humble. Jackson Williams.
I won yesterday.
Okay, well, sorry.
Way to go, Brother Jackson.
Way to go for you. I went first. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
That's a flag on the play. Matt's disqualified.
I'm on a toot. Don't disqualify me yet.
Fargo, North Dakota.
Oh, boy, this ought to be good.
Naked man arrested after peeking through windows. A Fargo man was arrested for sitting naked on a family's porch and peeking through their windows. Fargo police responded to a trespassing report at home just after 2:30 a.m. Wednesday. The homeowner said Spencer Diet Rich was clothed when he arrived, but undressed and was sitting naked on the porch, peeking inside. Officers found Diet Rich about a block from the home when he took off running, slipped on wet grass, and fell down while naked. He is charged with criminal trespass and indecent exposure. Along with others, Diet Rich told police he had been dared by friends.
Diet Rich?
That's how it's spelled.
I think it might be Dietrich.
Who cares?
But Diet Rich is great. Just go with Diet Rich, man. I love it.
Diet Rich.
I just got it, kid. His name's Dietrich.
But that's okay.
Diet Rich.
Diet Rich.
Man, you should see Big Rich. Like supersized Rich.
I think this guy's going to see it in the Fargo, North Dakota pokey.
Double-sized Rich.
King-sized.
Like king-sized Rich. What's happening in his pokey? What? What?
He's getting ready to be on a poor diet of beans and bread.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. All right, Ken Weaver.
Thomas Dupree arrested for stealing rocks in Flagler County. Man accused of selling stolen coquina rocks online. A Palatka man, Thomas Dupree, 37, has been arrested after allegedly stealing coquina rocks from a Palm Coast construction site in Flagler County, Florida, and then trying to sell them on Facebook Marketplace. Deputies say Dupree took the rocks, a soft, porous, sedimentary stone commonly used in landscaping, from the site, and he posted photos of the stolen material online. The investigation began on October 22nd when deputies met with the construction site owner who reported the rocks had been stolen 2 days prior. The victim also discovered that images from his site were used in Dupree's online listing. This guy doesn't look very smart either. Detectives identified Dupree as the suspect, alleging he visited the construction site multiple times over several months while promoting the rocks for sale on Facebook. Surveillance footage later captured Dupree's trailer leaving the site, confirming his involvement. Dupree was arrested and charged with grand theft, dealing in stolen property, and unlawful use of a two-way communications device. He was booked into the Sheriff Perry Hall inmate detention facility, then later released on a $7,500 bond.
Woo!
Authorities also noted Dupree has a prior arrest history, including theft and drug-related charges. The Flagler County Sheriff's Office reminded residents and business owners to secure construction materials and verify online sales listings to help prevent similar crimes.
Oh, no.
Thomas Dupree, he's just smiling in his mugshot.
Yeah. Well, what would you have? Jackson,
Yes, sir.
you ever had a mugshot?
Not yet.
Well, there's always time, buddy. There's always this weekend.
I'm just now 25.
Weaver,
Yes, sir.
you ever had a mugshot?
Never.
I have. A couple of them.
Do you still have them?
No, they don't give them.
You get them as a souvenir?
They don't give them to you.
Oh, you got to
Jackson.
buy them in the gift shop?
I wish I'd given the old Trumpy Trump when I did my mugshot. The old, I did not. But,
What did you do, smile?
No, I mean, that sounds like a good idea, but when you're not a guy that's about to get bailed out with somebody else's money, it's a little bit harder to smile in your mugshot when you're facing the possibility of having to spend all night in the drunk tank or whatever. Yeah, it's no fun. So you generally are doing something like this. Or you're just tanked and But, I think smiling would be the way to go, though. Just might as well have a good time.
This fella, man.
They don't let you wave.
I told my friends if they ever got arrested, I'd make their mugshot, their contact photo in my phone. So it would pop up every time they called me.
Yeah. And?
Waiting for the day.
How many of those do you have in your phone? None? Oh, good for you.
That's good, Brother Jackson.
Good for you.
You're running with a good crowd.
That's exactly, you're running with a good enough crowd not to get caught. That's how we play Nincompoops in the news. 615-737-9986. If you want to be involved, you can also use that number to text in your winner. Is it Jackson Williams? Is it Ken Weaver? Is it the disqualified Matt Murphy, who is disqualified for going first when he should not have, although my Nincompoop is none other than Gary Humble. Matt is not from Alabama. Matt lived in Alabama. Matt's from Georgia.
Are you sure about that?
T-O-M-S-O-N, no P in Thompson.
Thank you there, Ken Weaver. No P
And
in
his
Thompson.
shoulder's from China.
Y'all remember that. Yeah, I got the Temu shoulder going on. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get to Vincent. I'm going to get to your calls coming up in a moment. Especially if you disagree with me, I'll take you to the front of the line on Super Talk.
A presidential pardon for a former prominent Tennessean, and Williamson County deputies still looking for the alleged sex offender who prompted a hospital lockdown today. These stories and more at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Yes, indeed. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. We've got another hour to go. Plenty to get to. The shutdown, day 36. Look, I have a difficult time not telling you to hold the line if you're a member of the GOP because this is a Democrat problem created by Democrats, and we need Democrats to solve it by voting to reopen the government. Am I right? Vincent is next up on the show. Hey, Vincent, how are you?
Hey, Matt, I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm
Dave?
great, my friend.
Hey, the problem that we've got with people moving here is that they come in and you're looking for a house, right?
I am.
Okay, so they can come in, you say you bid on, I'm going to give you what you're asking for. They come in sight unseen, and they can afford to pay 20, 30 over asking price, and you're out of the pool, buddy.
I agree. I know. I'm going through it right now.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, is why do all the businesses go to Nashville when it's terrible? Businesses need to go to Dixon, Lebanon, Pleasant View, Ashland City. It's not that far away, but why commute when you don't have to? You see what I'm saying?
Wait, why? Wait, I'm a little bit confused. Say that last part again.
The businesses that the governor wants to come here, let's not just put them in downtown Nashville where it's terrible commute. Put them out in Ashland City. Put them in Dixon, Burns, Tennessee.
Well, but nobody's making them come to Nashville.
Well, the governor's saying, he's saying Tennessee's open. I agree with that. But the people that are coming from New York, New Jersey, California, they can outbid you, buddy. I tried it.
Well, I mean, but so you're telling me that you believe in the free market until you don't?
Well, I believe in the free market until, like my neighbor, I'm the one that said my neighbor's from California. He spent $30,000 over asking price, sight unseen.
I mean, I understand.
He raised our property taxes, so I let my property go.
I understand. I mean, I understand that that's a frustration for people that are in the buying market. It's probably a benefit to those that are trying to sell their property. Would you not agree?
I would agree. However, I'm not moving.
And also, I mean, could those
taxes are going up?
Well, but Vincent, could those
my property's going up, and I don't want to pay the taxes.
Well, Vincent, I mean, and you can challenge the value of the property, and I would encourage you to do that. But could the sellers not refuse to sell to those people based on where I mean, I don't know the answer to that. Hold on, Vincent. I'm going to let you finish up on the other side because I enjoy this conversation. We believe in the free market, right? We believe in a lack of government interference in the free exchange of commerce. So I should be able to sell someone else something of my own at a value that I believe it's worth and at a cost of what they're willing to pay. But when people from out of state buy it, we don't want to do that anymore? I mean, that sounds weird.